Bonjour, hello, welcome to MaxMountainWorld. I'm at work, obviously I'm not in my place. I'm going to do a video now for my playlist, Work the Top Tips Corner. And this is quite a good one. It's all to do with walls and stuff, repairing easy, efficient, cheap ways of fixing stuff. Now you've seen the heading of this video. I'll come back to the earthquake thing in a minute. What I'll do is I'll explain what I do with this, the repairs and doing stuff just to get the place looking good. Now the objective is to have the place looking good. The objective is not to do painting or do this or do that. It's visual, it's an image thing. Client comes in, first image, place is looking good, they're happy. You know, that's it. Now, I can always remember back a good few years when I was in Devilwee, the last place that I worked in. And I used to do work here from time to time. I got sent away on another site and got a bit delayed coming back. In the meantime, they'd sent someone here to do painting or something. I don't know what he was told. But poor guy was in an apartment. I was 2 weeks late back due to extra work to do, due to planning a bit ski whiff and stuff. A lad at that time, it wasn't me that planned my work. And yeah, I got back here and the poor guy was still in his first apartment. He didn't take it too lightly when I said, well look, we've got 100 of these, we need to move quickly. So what he had done was he was actually repainting the walls. You know, if you saw a wall with a mark, or repainted the whole walls. No need. The objective's not to paint, the objective is visual. Our walls here are what the French call crépis, which is it's like a wall artex. Very rough texture as you see, but very easy to repair. Now during the season when people are here, they scuff against it with skis, with ski boots, snowboards, during the summer push bikes, their baggage and things, and inevitably walls get scuffed and there's marks. And yeah, we've got another one there. I think there's a black bag, a black suitcase come past there. Now, with the walls being rough, I can quite easily repair the likes of that. I have a piece of, I think it's 80 grade sandpaper from a Disca, but these are great for actually working with on these repairs. Very lightly, I can just run along that fairly heavily as well if need be, and it's gone. And the same goes for any smaller ones as well. I go around every single mark, sort them all out. There's a tiny one there. Some of them just make dots and you just do that. And don't go everywhere on it, because otherwise you end up with a huge sort of flat spot in it all. If you're going about it just at random like that, then it keeps the randomness of the crépis as well. Down the bottom there, another little bit, another little bit, another little bit. That is renewed and it looks good. It's there isn't really any point in painting, you know, masking taping it all up, getting the paint out, and a lot of materials, a lot of work. And down the edges here, quick light down, just more, and quite often there's, as I say, these are just scuff marks on the surface. Now you get nearer the kitchen and you come across where there's been Coca-Cola explosions or whatever. Those require something else. I'll come back to that in a second too. Little things next to the table here. Someone's obviously spilled some gravy or something. Again, keep it random. Just do the actual part itself that needs the attention, and that's as good as new. Now I've got all this stuff folded away just to get out the way of what I'm going to do in final with the earthquake thing. People move furniture around and it marks the walls. So again, don't even need much pressure on it. And there we go. Another mark down there. And just basically I go around everything. It's a lot quicker, a lot easier, and a lot less materials. And in general, we're looking pretty good. A couple of things, very light marks up here where there's been a suitcase or something gone in. Problem solved. Another one is on the woodwork, like so the door here. There's marks here where they've scuffed against something. And I can rub that in and it's not really doing anything. I'll come back to that in a second as well. Black mark down the bottom there, got rid of that. So the general idea is things that have scuffed along walls and stuff. This wall hasn't been painted or repainted before, so very, very lightly. As I say, don't do a general area, just doing what is needed. And it kind of keeps the randomness of the crepey wall as well. Sometimes you get something and it just doesn't go away, you go through, it leaves a black mark. Here's what you do with it. And another one, a black mark on a door with the sandpaper, fairly heavy, go up past it, and that's left a bit of a shiny thing. Just give it a quick wipe with a rag and you'd never tell anything had been there. I work off this laundry chariot thing, which is really handy. I build shelves into it and stuff. I carry everything I need around with it. And, oh, don't know what I did there. Okay, start again. And just trying to get used to a new tripod here as well. So what we've got is everything here, all the sandpaper stuff, tooling, spare parts, you name it, silicone, paint, old towels and sheets and things. And what I do is, once I've finished the sandpapering part of it all, whip this lot out, put this away in a bag every time, keeps it nice and moist as it were. A little bit of just a touch on the surface and the paint in the paint pot there, and I use the lid to spread it on the roller. And the roller's really, really handy for doing all the touch-ins and stuff. Making sure I've not got too much, making sure I've not got too little. Back to these marks again. This one didn't really enjoy what I was trying to do with it, so putting just a bit of paint on it. Again, if you look at that at the wrong angle, you end up with quite a shiny bit. So what I'll do with that is put the roller down. Is with the rag, towel thing, whatever, just give it a quick. The paint is handy for the tiny stuff as well. If we can see this, and all I do is just touch on it, and touch on it, and then if that has left a shiny mark, which it has, hang on, camera going a bit funny because I'm working one hand here. Again, the towel, just a quick. And the shininess is gone and the repair is done. Next to this radiator, we can see where someone's booted it or something. That's gone right through to the bare wall. So before this goes totally out of focus, just again, quick touch in. And you can see that's kind of left a bit of a shiny spot. But again, give it a bit with a rag. It's not perfect, but it's better. There's one thing to mention here as well, is that when I'm doing these things, we don't have time here to make it absolutely perfect. But a job that's done like that, where something has been done, is better than nothing has been done. Again, touching in. touching in. And wall's as good as new. You don't need to paint the whole thing. And as long as you don't kind of go all over the place like that, if you were to do that, you'd end up with a big shiny spot and it would not look good. So I'll carry on round all these just now, and it takes a bit of time, but it's a lot less time than it takes to to repaint walls entirely and stuff. We have these frames as well where people clout stuff off too, and I find that just going over it again, quite a lot of paint over the marked bits at the bottom, and then to make it blend in, just give it a whip up like that, and it doesn't really leave a sort of line where the paint finishes or anything, and it just generally looks better. Touching in on dark spots, if there's any more about, yeah. And you just touch stuff in. If it needs a whole thing, give it the whole thing and just blend it in very lightly off the top. Again, some pretty nasty black marks. Someone has belted that. In fact, they've cut it with something. So like I say, that kind of gives a general idea of what I do here. If I need to do a whole wall, yeah, I'll do it. But that takes time, it takes materials, and we're limited, I'm limited. So just with the sheer quantity of apartments and stuff. So what that guy that I mentioned, I think in the 2 weeks he used about 20 litres of paint. With this touch-up system I've already done about 60 odd apartments so far this tour. I've used less than a litre. So what I'm going to do now is going on to the earthquake thing, and yes, we do get earthquakes in the Alps. It happens a lot. Most of them are very, very minor. Occasionally we get a stronger one. We had one about 4 or 5 years ago that shut the main road from Italy to Grenoble. And they actually spent 6 million and they built a bypass road whilst they repaired this tunnel that had collapsed because of this earthquake and subsequent landslide. Now, about the same time as that was when we had one about 50 kilometres away from here. The epicentre was there. It was about a 3.6, I think, and it affected us here. I repaired about 80 walls. Just all these cracks that appeared. The guy I was working with woke up in the morning and said, "Max, have you been acting the maggot with me? Someone's emptied all my shelves." And I said, no, I think we've had a bit something else. And I went on to the news thing, and I had a look and said, yeah, we've had an earthquake nearby. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we had a series of earthquakes not far away. The Italian frontier is 50 kilometres in a straight line, and about another 50, 60, 70 further on was where it started, and it kind of covered a huge area. There was over 100 earthquakes. The biggest one I think was a 3.9. Now it was further away, but I have noticed some cracks appearing since. So what I'll do here is I'll go into that in the final, exactly a very, very nifty way of doing the repair on it. Okay, so that's for the lead out. Thanks very much for watching. Cheers. Yeah, so the walls is one thing. I think I repaired this one, although hats off to me. I did the repair so well. They're very difficult to discover now, and I'll show you how I do them. In fact, I think that's it there. Yeah. Probably can't see that, or you probably can, I don't know. But this is very good. Very, very easy to do. Now, looking at the wall here, to the untrained eye, it doesn't look like anything's amiss. If I go right in close, start up with the ceiling here, and you'll be able to see the crack that is there, heading down. They're never straight, which is probably a good thing because that keeps the randomness going. It vanishes a bit, and then there's more, and where are we? Try to get the camera on this. It's very close up. There's more crack there, and that heads down to a weak point, where, being a solid wall, a weak point is obviously where all the stuff's been happening around this bedside light. and I think below was cracked before and it's been repaired. So if I just take one section of this, and with the corner of this, just an absolute corner like there, if I just push in, that will disappear. Just push it in very heavily on it and just follow the crack itself down. And what happens is it's pushing also the dust I'm creating into the gap. And in time with occupancy, the dust will, the humidity out of the air, the dust will form a solid and fill in and keep it filled in. So basically, it takes a little bit of a while. A crack that runs from there to the ceiling, oh, I'll be about 20 minutes on that, 15-20 minutes on it, just making sure I've got it right, I'm not leaving any daft lines or anything like that. And yeah, and in time, as I say, that just kind of fills and the dust will kind of mix in with humid air. That's actually working out quite easy. This one hasn't been painted or repainted, which makes it easier. And again, if I just run down here, you'll be able to see where the repair is. But really, you step away from it, it just blends in with the randomness of the wall. And it's not just the walls, earthquakes here. The building opposite that we have the most occupancy with our apartments. We have a few apartments in this one too. The building opposite has lino floors, so it doesn't really matter. But these ceramic floors, there's cracks. These appeared with that earthquake off of Les-Orres, which is 50 kilometres away. We've got another crack in here. I'm just looking in another apartment that I've been working in today, and we've got more in the way of cracks and things in the tiles. Another one there, a bad one, right in front of the window, and there's nothing we can do with that. Huge job to go repairing it. The option would be to either uplift everything and redo the floor, or redo the floor over and above that and cut the bottom of the doors to suit. But whatever way around it would be, there's another one by the fridge. So the plus side, it gives us a little bit of banter with the clients when they ask what's going on. Why is the floor all cracked up like that? So yeah, get a wee chin wag explaining what's what. So that's one for the top tips corner. Have a look at that playlist, even if you're vaguely interested. If you're a DIY person or an odd jobber or even a professional, you might find something in there. There's quite a few videos in there. You might find something interesting and of use to you. I'll be continuing this, and I think I've done about 30 of these so far this time round since the Italian earthquakes, which was the opposite direction from the previous one that I mentioned. And the previous one that I mentioned, it produced cracks in different places. So these are all new cracks. It's not like old ones have reopened up or ones have repaired or reopened up. Touch wood, all the ones that are repaired are still good. So that's it. You get earthquakes in the Alps. That's how the Alps formed. The tectonic plates came together, formed mountains. And this was first discovered when one of the first explorers on top of Everest discovered seashells up on top of Everest. All the highest mountain ranges came from the bottom of the seas. Fact. Cheers. Thanks for watching again. Quick thing and final. That wall looks okay. Yeah, change the light. Look at this. Mark there, mark there, mark there, mark there, mark there. You've got to change the light with a curtain or whatever, natural light. Yeah. So again, just gotta just go over it. Takes a bit of time, as I say, one at a time, dead easy, little bit by bit. nothing on there. Go down to this mark there. Yeah, I can see when I make my shadow in front of it. Another one down there. And like I say, there's absolutely no need to repaint that wall. You just take the time to go over all the individual bits themselves and it looks like new.
The chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up, it's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I